And now, a message from the Australian government.
These are unprecedented times.
We know things are hard right now.
You're stuck inside with nothing to do.
You might be going out of your mind.
Just wanting to do something.
Anything.
But now, more than ever.
More than ever.
More than ever.
It's time to think about how your choices affect others.
So please, don't start a podcast.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
You might feel like it's a productive use of your time right now.
You've probably already got a USB mic and a spare room ready to go.
And your mate Dave's got some interesting opinions.
But we're here to tell you.
He doesn't.
He really doesn't.
He's a fuckwit.
We don't need your true crime exclusive, which is just you reading Wikipedia articles to your housemate.
We don't need your minute-by-minute breakdown of every episode of Parks and Rec.
What are you going to do? Send everyone in your contact list a MailChimp newsletter?
And force them to mark you as spam instead of unsubscribing?
Because they're scared to hurt your feelings?
We're in the middle of a pandemic!
Look, it's pretty straightforward.
Just don't start a podcast.
Make some pasta from scratch like everyone else and just shut up.
The greatest gift you can give your fellow human beings right now?
Right now.
Right now.
Is to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Come on.
Do it.
Don't start a podcast.
And here's our podcast. This is the story of a man from New Zealand and a woman from England stuck in lockdown together in the city of London. This is day 64.
Edging ever closer to that magical 69. What are we going to do to celebrate?
I don't know. Maybe we could put the dogs in an amusing position.
Yeah, I love the Lego man.
Yeah, we've done that already. You posted photos of a Lego man rooting another Lego man up the butt on our
No, it was
Twitter.
a Lego woman up the butt.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
It might not have been up the butt. It might have just been, from behind.
It looked like it was up the butt. Anyway, people thought I posted that. It was all you, all your handiwork. We had a little disclaimer at the top of the show. Unfortunately, that government announcement didn't come out before we started our show. Otherwise, we may have avoided it.
Oh, shut up. There were loads of memes saying, for God's sake, don't start a podcast. The most risky thing is every man up between the age of 18 and 39 starting their own podcast. And you only just fall into that age bracket.
Yes. Well, this show only really falls just into the bracket of a podcast. Barely. It barely does. Although we do an awful lot of episodes.
Compared to what?
Well, a lot of people who've started crappy podcasts during a lockdown, they're all about having proper opening music and proper guests and, information, structure.
Entertaining features.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas us, we're just about making a noise on a daily basis.
Yes, we forego all of that.
We don't even manage the daily basis bit on a regular occasion.
We do our best.
Yeah, we do try.
And then every now and again, we just simply can't physically lift our limbs. It just becomes a bit too much.
Yeah.
But,
or you'll wang off the desk and onto the record button.
Well, I really should get that automated. Waste so much time trying to push that button with my wang.
Mm.
So, this is day 64.
And we've been out and about again.
Maybe we're feeling the fever. Maybe we've been given strange confidence.
We needed to go to the fucking post office and I needed to collect my fucking prescription. Those are the two things that were absolutely essential to the going outness. And we only managed to do one of them.
Why was that?
Because the fucking post office decided to shut at 3 o'clock. And we didn't leave the house until 3 o'clock.
And why was that?
Why did the fucking bastarding post office shut at 3? I don't know.
No, why didn't we leave the house?
Because I was working.
Were we though?
Yeah. Well, no, I was having a strop. Somebody at work pissed me off. I was taking a mental health day the rest of the day.
Did you get it out of your system?
No.
Is that why you're putting those pins under your skin?
No, that's why I'm going to start putting them into yours.
I think I'll keep my distance. Also, we played that board game.
Yeah, we did.
You know, that wasted quite a lot of time.
I meant to say half an hour. Do you think it took half an hour?
Oh, I think it took longer than that.
Oh, I don't.
Anyway, the way the board game works is you're given...
It's called Railroad Inc. for anyone who's interested in.
So it's a railroad-based board game.
Yeah, because, somebody wants to run a railway, and I thought this is a good way to start.
Yeah, good point. Well, I did win.
Yeah, you did.
So,
This is true.
maybe, I do have what it takes to run a railway. But but the way the game works is we each got like a whiteboard that's already got a grid written on it. And you've got a bunch of roadways and railways, and you get a whiteboard marker, and you're supposed to roll these dice, which give you options of what symbols you can use, which are roadways and railways and little intersections and stations and all that sort of stuff. And you've got this grid, and what you do with the whiteboard is whatever you roll on the dice, you then have to draw that onto your grid.
Yep.
And slowly but surely you build up a network of roadways and railways and intersections and all the rest of it.
It's a Spanish board game. I think all the best board games are Spanish. They must be much more into their board games than us.
Yeah, it was a little tricky to get my head around to begin with, but, once we...
Well, everything's hard the first time.
But once we were underway, sort of made sense. It's a little bit on the slow side. You really did have to think about where you put your...
Yeah, that's the whole point of the game, isn't it? Because you win or lose by winning points, don't you? By having the longest railway and the longest roads and the most connections in your network between endpoints.
Yeah. So I had pretty much no idea about any of that before we started. There's just some junctions. It's sort of like a Monopoly board or something. Like you've got roadways and railways coming off the edge of the grid, and you're supposed to join them all up. And so that's basically the only piece of information I picked up from our prep session. I was like, okay, join those up. There's nothing about all the other ways to score points or whatever else. But it all worked out in the end.
Yeah.
So we have put a picture of that on Twitter, if you're at all curious.
Have we?
Didn't we?
I took a photo. I didn't put it on Twitter.
Oh.
Not yet. Well, I can do.
Yeah. Well, we will.
Okay.
Probably. Like all those other things we say we'll take photos of and put on Twitter. And maybe don't.
So we got the prescription.
Yeah.
We failed to get to the post office.
True.
And then we decided to go to Wilko's because I wanted some of the rubbery plant tie things to put into face masks and some elastic. And I thought, Wilko sells garden stuff, it sells sewing stuff, it'll sell both of those things. Did it fuck? Sold neither of them.
We also thought we were going to get an oscillating fan.
Yep. Don't have any of those either. No. Full of the barbecue stuff. Good old Wilko's, got their summer ranges in, haven't got the fans in.
Not that we bought any of those things. And so we took a trundle by Sainsbury's to buy some corn nuts, because I was just craving corn nuts. I'm now properly satiated. I had a bunch.
Good.
Yeah, yum.
Hope you left room for your burger.
Dinner?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of room. I'm trying to follow this diet where I don't eat as much crap all day long. And so basically all I've had up until now, which is the end of the day, is a banana. And less than a handful of corn nuts. So, yeah, I got room. I definitely got room. The problem was when we weighed me the other day and I was touching 79 kilos and I thought, I'm a midget. 79 kilos is a lot. And then I had a look in the mirror and I'm like, yes.
Maybe we should take a photo of you looking in the mirror, all standing on the scales, and put it on the fridge. Would you think that would help?
No, I don't think so.
Put multiple copies, one on each of the front of the doors of the cupboards.
Some of my friends have been very supportive.
Or on the chocolate bar.
I don't eat the chocolate. You eat all the chocolate.
Oh, yeah, I've eaten all the chocolate, but I'm not the one who's moaning I'm fat.
No, but see, you're not as fat as me. Your body isn't giving in to the pressure of age like mine is. No, a couple of friends have been very kind, and they've said, you're all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
don't
I've said
get
that.
this crazy body dimorphism idea in your head.
Yeah.
But then I think I'm single and 40 and should go for a run.
Midlife crisis looming.
Yeah. But, last night, I started with some push-ups.
You did?
I
You
did.
started by talking about the fact that you were going for a run all day and then failing to go for a run.
I spent some time on the exercycle, though. I did some push-ups.
Yeah.
I did 3 in a row. And then I had a little rest.
And then you did 2 more.
I did 2 more.
Yeah, you did 5.
For a total of 5.
Yeah.
I used to do 20 every day. So that's the goal, to get back up to doing 20 every day.
There was less of you to lift then.
Yeah, there was. Those were definitely some of the hardest push-ups I've ever done in my life. Oh my God. But, that's what I'm going to try and do. Do them every day until I get back to 20 and then, keep going. I hate to think, how I got added to that WhatsApp group for push-ups in New Zealand? If those people have all been doing as many push-ups as they said they were going to do, which was to begin with 80 a day, they're going to be so buff now. We've almost been in here for almost 10 weeks. At least 9 weeks, right? So, bloody hell.
Yeah, 9 weeks.
So they might all be buff and cut to ribbons. If we're in here for another 9 weeks and I do at least 20 a day.
Have you kept in that WhatsApp group or have you taken yourself out?
Oh, I'm in the WhatsApp group, but I don't have a telephone. So, who knows what's going on? This is day 4 of no phone. So,
what are you doing about getting a phone?
Waiting.
For what?
I don't know, money? Money's a good start. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Google apparently going to bring out a mid-range phone at the start of June. So maybe I could get one of those ones. It's supposed to have a headphone jack. I'm quite up in arms about having a phone with a headphone jack, so it's quite important to me. Yeah.
Well, you're not going to manage between now and then without a phone, are you? What are you doing to sort out unlocking the one I've loaned you?
Well, not a lot. I did have a look at my mobile provider's shop today. It was closed. They aren't supplying much support on line. You can't talk to them over Wi-Fi. You have to use the network when you connect to their app, which I can't do because my SIM won't work in the phone that you've given me. And of course, my old phone is completely stuffed. I can't use it at all. So I can't contact them that way. So it's just, pushing shit uphill until I get a new phone.
Have you tweeted? Oh no, you can't tweet them, can you?
Can't do anything. I'm just living my new phoneless life.
Maybe you'll survive without it and never go back.
I think one of the most annoying things about yesterday is when I went to go for a run and I had my little MP3 player. I got this a little MP3 player for running, which is called a Mighty. And it looks like one of the really old Apple clip-on MP3 players, really, really small one. It just used to be a square.
Yeah.
So I got one of those and it works with Spotify. But it links to Spotify through your phone and the Mighty app. And then off you go. And I did that. I linked it all up 2 days ago. Or however many days ago my phone died. 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
Yeah.
And then I went to go use it yesterday and go for a run. And it wouldn't work. It was saying it needed to connect to my phone again. And it's fuck. Fuck. So now that's useless too. The app that I had on my phone for logging my weight, gone. Yeah. All that information's gone. It's all just a bit fucking annoying, actually. I didn't realise quite how much stuff's linked to the phone. Oh, yes, here you go. Yeah, super sad.
Super sad.
Super sad. Sure sucks not having a phone though. Well, maybe I could embrace it. Maybe it could be something that I do now, is not have a phone. Once I get over this withdrawal period, maybe not having a phone won't be so bad. Except for all of the fucking banking stuff and travel stuff and... Yeah, okay. Yeah, no. My phone's my MP3 player. I definitely need a new phone. Oh, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
What else is news? in New Zealand, the New Zealand Tory party, which is called National, they got a new leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those terrible polling results that they got over the course of the last week meant that the leader that they had got the chop. And they've brought in a new guy who no one's ever heard of, but he's tall.
Well, that's good. That's what we need, isn't it?
It's that funny thing, where humans, like people who are taller, they've done all these studies, are more likely to get promoted, more likely to get a raise, more likely to be given management roles, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So he's tall, so he got the job. He's also white and bald.
Is he male, pale and stale?
Yep, he is all those things. So he fits the...
male, pale and stale.
Yeah, he fits the bill in terms of that political party and the kinds of people that they want at the helm. They tried having a little brown guy. It didn't work out for them. So, yeah, back to the tried and true formula. We'll see how they go. I basically, at the moment, the New Zealand Labour Party's got such a massive lead over National in the polls, basically because they've been handling the whole COVID crisis really, really well. But, when the election comes around in September, it'll all get closer again. It'll be a close run thing.
You think?
Yeah. I still expect Labour and the Greens to win. I'd be very surprised if they lost. But yeah, I'd expect them to win. I'd expect it to be closer than it currently is, and I'd expect him to lose and then to fall away. He won't contest another election after this one. They'll find somebody else. That'll be that.
Yeah.
So this will be his run at the gate. He'll get pretty decent pay for the next 6 to 9 months, however long they keep him in charge of the party, and then he'll probably go back to the private corporate sector. I personally think that National's best chance in the election is to basically embrace some green policy. Green policy is a real political football in New Zealand, and it's not like that here in the UK. The Conservative Tory party, they have a whole lot of green policy. They've been decarbonising the electricity network and all this other stuff. Like, it's not such a political football. Like, here it's not whether you do or you don't have green policy, it's about the pace with which you adopt it. And it's not like that in New Zealand. It's like one side of the politics is like, yes, green policy, and the other side of the politics is like, no green policy. You're like, you guys realize you're a bunch of fuckwits, right? Like, you guys are keeping the farmers happy, because the farmers, all they want to do is pollute and have as many cows as they can possibly have and all that kind of crap. But it's like, you're losing all of those, city folk who recognise that there's a problem here and that we should probably do something about it. But, they're kowtowing to that farming block. And one of the things about this new leader, I think his name's Todd Muller, which just makes me think of yogurt, which is appropriate because he used to work for Fonterra, which is the big, dairy conglomerate in New Zealand that, a huge lobby. It's New Zealand's biggest company, so you can see why they've got so much power. But I'd say with him at the helm and him having previously worked for Fonterra, that National's not going to adopt the sorts of green policies which could probably differentiate them on a lot of levels. I just see it as smart economic policy at this point, where you move the economy in a direction of green policy, right? That's where the technology's going. Get on the boat, man. Like, why are you stuffing around? Because some farmer wants more cows belching in a paddock. Like, what? Really? This is your reason? Fuck, man. Give yourself a slap. Get on the boat. Otherwise, you're going to be paddling in a life raft. Where's my canned laughter? No? Nothing? Okay. I don't know what any of these buttons do. Oh, that's a movie review. That's a movie review. Have you got a movie review?
No.
Yes, you do.
Oh, we watched Remains, but you can talk about it because you're more interested in it than I was. It's all shit the zombie people was. A non-zombie fan liked it.
This is our movie review of Remains, the movie. I think it had a longer title than this.
Yeah, it's just called Remains.
No, see, I looked it up. There's a bunch of movie called Remains. Movies.
Yeah.
So there's more than one. So this one was something presents Remains, or like Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's like something Remains.
Oh yeah, something. Yeah.
So anyway, come on,
It's based on a graphic novel, but I can't remember who wrote the graphic novel.
probably him.
Yeah, Nikos. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, guess.
Yeah, exactly.
You can find the movie if you search for Remains.
You always talk about it.
Yes.
So it's set in Reno. I think it's Reno, and there's been a some kind of nuclear device has gone off and turned all the people into zombies, but not all of the people into zombies, because some of them were in a bomb shelter shagging. As you do.
There was a magician in a cupboard, so he survived.
What? Yeah, and the magician's assistant was in the store cupboard or something, and there was, I'm not quite sure how the guy that you think is the magician's gay lover, but I don't think he was. Why he survived? He was meant to be outside with. I know he died in the end, but he was outside arguing with a Hell's Angels guy about buying a truck or towing a truck or something, or a truck breaking down. I can't remember. So they were outside arguing. So I'm not quite sure how they, what was protecting them.
Well, wasn't the magician's? He was gay though.
Was he?
Yeah, the magician that was in the cupboard.
Okay.
Yeah, he did turn out to be gay. He had a boyfriend that you never saw who was in the Air Force, which is why they were in Reno. He was a test pilot or something. So, one of them's doing a bit better than the other. Must have had a good personality. Hey, magic hands. So, no, the muscly guy that you're talking about who was on the back of the pickup truck.
Yeah.
He said he was locked in his van or something.
Oh.
Yeah, he'd been locked in his van all day. Anyway, he comes in and he has a muscly, naked sort of scene where he has a shower.
Yeah.
That's after the other people have sex in, what was it, in a freezer or?
No, they were in a air raid shelter.
Were they?
Yeah, because it had a box of supplies. So yeah.
Sure, it wasn't just a supply room.
Oh, maybe it was. I don't know.
Anyway, they're in a casino. One of them was a card dealer. One of them was a cocktail waitress. And yeah, then they had a root, and then the movie started. They did though, didn't it? Like the credits came after the rooting. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Yeah, interesting film. Low budget, obviously.
Yeah.
Zombie movie.
Yeah.
A lot of the zombies were poor. Poor man zombies. Fast zombies. Not very good zombies, though. A lot of them were wearing the same rubber mask. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice that.
It's funny because, you had a whole lot of bad physical effects. The zombie acting was bad. The graphics, the virtual graphics and CGI graphics and flames and explosions, and at one point a car rolls over and it's all CG and it's really terrible.
Yeah.
But if you take all that away, the actual story itself and the main characters and their acting, I actually thought was pretty good. I was like, if you went back and did a reshoot and shot some of the extra bits and pieces for this film and then knitted it together, this is pretty passable.
Yeah.
And that was surprising because we have watched some absolute dross. But I thought, I didn't think it was so bad.
Yeah.
It had bad bits in it, but I didn't think the movie was that bad. I mean, what did we watch the other night? Zombiesaurus.
Oh, we turned it off in the end because it was so shit.
That was so fucking shit. Maybe that's what's affecting me. I think this really bad low-budget zombie movie is actually okay because I watched Zombiesaurus, which is one of the worst pieces of shit ever made. It was fucking terrible. Zombiesaurus was it was like a student film made by students while still students.
Yeah.
And
the I think it was the opening part of it. So that was the bit that was on before the credits. Didn't seem to have bear any relation to the rest of the film. other than one of the characters was in it, but there was no kind of. I'm not really sure how they got from that to the main bit of the film.
There were some pretty massive plot holes and a lot of dialogue stolen from other movies.
Yeah.
And it was poor. If you're the sort of person who likes a bad movie for a bad movie's sake, like if you're the sort of person who liked Troll 2 and thought that was up your street, maybe Zombiesaurus is something you want to check out. But, oh man, it was bad. Everything about it was bad.
Yeah.
Like the script, the acting, the camera shots, the special effects, the motivation of anyone in any scene at any time was completely fucked. Like it was really, really bad. Holy moly, was it bad. But freely available on the internet. What do we watch it on? Prime.
Dunno.
Amazon Prime, I think. So yeah, Zombiesaurus. It's not called that in every country.
Is it not?
No, but you'd be able to find it. But yeah, what a fucking steaming piece of shit. Going back to Remains, for a low budget film, that I thought was actually pretty good. The two main actors that they had in it weren't too bad at all. The main girl was pretty attractive and like she actually did some acting, which was quite good. I thought all of the motivation was in line, they're all behaving as they should, a lot of the cinematography, despite being really low budget, was well thought out, lots of really good camera angles and motion and everything, so, I thought it was entirely watchable. You just had to suspend belief whenever there were actual zombies or effects or anything like that. The main guy in it, though, I was like, it was bugging me. I was like, who's this guy? Who is this guy? And then I was like, he's a fucking Kiwi. That's a New Zealander. And sure enough, he used to be on a New Zealand program called Outrageous Fortune. He was like a main character on Outrageous Fortune. I was like, holy shit. So he left New Zealand to make it big in the movie business. Moved to the States, went and made a really shitty movie in Reno about zombies. And now he does the voiceover, the narration on Border Force Australia. So when you're up late at night at 2 a.m. and they've got one of those Border Force programs on, and they're like, oh, we don't know what Karen's got in her luggage. Oh, she'll need to check out those lemons. Oh, all that crap.
Yeah.
He's the guy doing one of those programs. I mean, there's so many of those programs. Yeah, there's so many of those programs. But yeah, Border Force Australia, he's doing the narration. But yeah, Remains wasn't too bad. Had a little bit of a twist ending that made no sense.
One of the main characters being killed off and being replaced immediately by another hot female.
So spoilers.
Honestly, people start watching it, they won't finish it.
I don't think it was that bad. I could understand them not finishing Zombiesaurus, but you get to the end of Remains, I reckon, if you just had it on. But yeah, so the main hot girl dies unexpectedly, out of nowhere. So the movie kind of, it doesn't nail its twist ending quite so much. In fact, the movie has a little bit of a strange bit where it's been a zombie movie, they've done all the normal zombie movie stuff, the story's been pretty adequate, like the acting's been pretty good, we've got to a point now here at the end of the second act, or 2/3 through, whatever you want to say, and then it kind of gets quite comical. And they have this great scene where they're stolen the keys off a zombie, and they're running around trying to find his car in the car park, in the underground car park, so they can escape. And so they're pushing the little key fob to make the security go bleep, 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 bleep. And they've got all these action sequences where they're dealing with 4x4s and killing zombies with by jumping in and out of Hummers and all this other stuff. And they're still looking for this car. And then they go bleep, bleep, and there it is. And it's a little 2-seater smart car. I was like, okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then they get in the 2-seater smart car. And they're trying to get out of the parking lot, but they don't know the code to open the door to get out of the underground parking lot. So she backs it right up to ram the door.
Yeah.
And it's all revved up, and they do that, and they cut to a shot from outside the door, and you just see the door get hit from behind, and of course they don't come through it.
Yeah.
And
Just wobbles a bit.
yeah, and it was
Makes
really
loud noise.
Yeah, it was quite funny. And then you cut back inside into the parking lot, and they're in the car and swearing and stuff. I thought all of that sequence really, really funny. Like, well done.
Yeah.
And then it gets a bit fucking weird from that point. Like, some other woman comes into the picture, and even though this guy's been rooting this cocktail waitress, now he seems more interested in this other chick. And then the cocktail waitress takes a gun and fucks off and goes to do her own thing. And then there's an explosion, and then she gets knocked out into the street, and then she gets eaten by zombies. And then at the very end, the New Zealand guy and this new woman who came out of nowhere, sort of, in the smart car driving away, and then you see the cocktail waitress, and she's got a gun, and she's got zombie eyes, but she's not like full zombie. She's like a smart zombie or something. And now she's leading the zombies, and she's gonna take them after the people who left in the smart car.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird ending.
Yeah.
Like, if they'd nailed that ending, I'd have given that a 6.5.
Would you?
Yeah, I would have. I just didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because they kind of fluffed the ending, I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay. I was going to give it a 2.
You'll become more ruthless with time, haven't you?
Yeah.
In this lockdown
I
scenario.
think his IMDb score was only 4.5. I think that was generous.
Well, I could see why a movie reviewer, someone who did it for a living, would knock lots of points off for the effects and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, that was Remains. It was a movie we watched.
It was.
Also Zombiesaurus, which is a movie we partially watched
Mm-hmm.
and simply couldn't stomach anymore. Couldn't do it. Let us know if you watch any of the crap that we talk about on the show, by the way. Let us know on Twitter. Just let us know if you take any of our suggestions on board. We'd love to know, because we've got nothing else going on.
Yeah.
What have you got going on?
Fuck all.
Yeah. That about sums it up. That's probably it from us.
Yeah, it's dinner time.
Dinner time. Come on, perk up. It's dinner time.
Yeah, I get to feed you again.
No, you get to feed yourself. You don't have to feed me. I've said you don't have to feed me. Got all these 2-minute noodles packets in the cupboard. You know, if I live on 2-minute noodle packets, I'll lose weight.
Yeah.
I'll become a grumpy psychopath, but I'll lose weight. A friend I knew way back, Kieran Dooley, he made a movie called Noodle Me, which was based off Super Size Me.
Yeah.
But it's just him eating 2-minute noodles for a month.
Yeah.
And that's all he eats. And he does lose weight.
Yeah.
But it's a really good little 10-minute documentary. I reckon you can still find it on YouTube. So if you go on YouTube and search for Noodle Me,
Yeah.
it's a guy I used to know eating nothing but 2-minute noodles for a month. And it's pretty interesting. Like, bits of it are really harrowing, and yeah, it's really well made. I mean, it won't be. It'll be old school, like 4x3 and made on a VHS tape, and it'll be all crappy, but it's great. It's a great little film. Totally recommend that one. Yeah, 7.5. Go check out Noodle Me.
Okay.
All right, let's go have 2-minute noodles for dinner.
No, we've got burgers that need eating.
Woo!
Or pasta bake. Up to you.
Whatever. I'm going to stuff my face. Let's go!
Okay. Bye.